Welcome to the lesson, Producing for Profit, a study of a historically specific social system, capitalism. What really is the core question regarding our economy? Simply put, it is this: how can a society best provide for the material needs of its population? Such provisioning has two elements, production and distribution. It is useful to also ask this as a historical question. How have human societies solved the economic problem of material provisioning? If we take the long view, going back to pre-industrial societies, we can identify three broad categories for how the economic problem has been addressed. The first is tradition. In this model, the established social and family hierarchies determine everyone's role in the economy regarding the work performed and who gets what. Such societies can be somewhat egalitarian, Native American societies, or deeply unequal, Roman slave society. But traditional economic societies tend to be stagnant in terms of their technological innovation. The second broadly defined approach to the economic problem is command. In a command society, some authority, a king, a lord, or a president, determines which jobs are taken by whom and how the total output of the society is distributed. Command economies can be found in ancient societies like the Egyptian kingdom, feudal societies in medieval Europe, and even modern societies like the former Soviet Union. In contrast to tradition-driven systems, one feature of a command system is that under command, economic change can be organized by those in command authority. The third approach to the economic problem is markets. Markets, the buying and selling of goods and services, have been part of society for millennia. But over the past 500 years, they have gradually become the dominant force driving economic decisions and outcomes. In the era dominated increasingly by markets, capitalism emerged. The feudal order of lord-driven, manor-based societies slowly gave way through gradual urbanization and religious and political change to an emergence of a more individually centered process of provisioning. Instead of being assigned or inheriting a job and an income, most people began to seek work for a wage. In this sense, labor too became subject to market forces. Under capitalism, we rely on the labor of millions of other people to get the things we need. And most of us contribute to the production of things consumed by people we don't know. It means there are deep interdependencies between all of us, but those human relationships are hidden in production and consumption. Think about all the things you did and consumed yesterday. How many of them involved only things you or people you know actually produced? How many people were involved in making sure you could prepare your breakfast or producing the clothing you wear? Another defining feature of capitalism is at the core of the free market economy, the wage relation. In capitalism, most people rely on this labor market for their well-being. And workers don't own or control or decide what they make. The output of labor is not the labor's property, but its employer's. Thus, any surplus earned is not distributed broadly across the population, but instead as profit to those who own the businesses and hire workers for wages and salaries. These businesses, private enterprises, exist to pursue profit. There can be more or less equality in wage and profit earnings, and today's capitalism in America is in one of its most unequal moments. In the last 50 years, we have entered a phase sometimes referred to as market fundamentalism, where markets are increasingly seen as the main solution to the economic problem, whether it is getting a chicken or corn to our dinner table, or even solving the problem of global warming. While I have talked about three approaches to the economic problem as if one follows the other historically, it should be noted that there are elements of each at all moments of history. Even today, in a very market-dominated moment in our history, there are strong elements of tradition. For example, some occupations remain male or female, and elements of command like the power of governments to tax and spend. How we understand markets and their functioning is key to thinking about economic justice and resilience in an industrialized economy. Markets are institutions that are not separate from social and political dynamics, generally speaking. On the political front, markets generally cannot function without government regulation and oversight. This is not just to protect against criminal behavior such as fraud, slavery, stealing, but also to ensure market forces are not too disruptive. Even the freest of markets, the stock market, is carefully monitored by government officials so that cheating is reduced and a market collapse can be controlled. To sum up, we have tried in this lesson to convey that capitalism is a particular way that we organize the economy to satisfy our material needs, and it has a specific feature involving private enterprise, wage labor, and profit making. Business operates in markets, and the government regulates these. These are the basics. But the important point is that there is much variety in the ways capitalism can be organized and regulated. Since it is largely a private enterprise system, the public goals around equity, poverty alleviation, public health, and climate change must be pursued through government regulation, investment, and taxation. The way we organize the economy, even within capitalism, can have important implications for well-being, equity, and social and environmental justice. In this lesson, we discuss the history of capitalism and the continuing effects of colonialism, slavery, and patriarchy on market economies. The next lesson will focus on the impacts of neoliberal philosophy.